Disneyland, the happiest place on Earth. Every year, millions of children and their families flock to the theme park for the time of their lives. They smile and take pictures with all their favorite characters, go on crazy rides, and eat an enormous amount of junk food. It's the stuff dreams are made of. Or is it? Beneath the shiny facade, there's a world you didn't know exists. Here are 10 behind-the-scenes secrets Disneyland doesn't want you to know. If you love all things Disney related, just like us, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. Have a Disney day. Have you ever wondered how Disney cast members make it through the day? They seem to have entered a whole new world. Get it? Score one on the Disney reference board. And in some ways, they actually have. Cast members must abide to a strict form of verbal code when addressing any sort of crisis. This is done so the effects aren't spoiled for children. For instance, Code V stands for vomit. Seems simple enough, right? Well, my second favorite Disney code is the white powder alert. This fun little phrase is used when someone wants to scatter the ashes of their departed loved one. I wonder how many people were buried before they had to come up with that one. These codes are quite useful, and they are carefully crafted and selected to contain any crisis. For example, a lost child will be referred to as a code 70, which means lost parent. Children will never be referred to as lost since this will cause panic or catch the attention of child predators. Other codes are more recreational, which brings me to my favorite Disney code. If a cast member wishes you a Disney day, you have been a jerk. That person wishes they could punch you in the face, and that smile is most definitely fake. Yikes. Well, they have to make it through the day in any way they can, right? The dress code. Cast members look like the most wholesome people on the planet. I mean, no tattoos, all natural hair color, and they are always so neatly dressed. It kinda makes you hate them as you stand in the hot sun waiting for your turn on Space Mountain in your sweaty clothes. But I digress. They seem almost perfect. Almost too perfect, with those cheery smiles and friendly manners. It gives me the creeps. It bugged me so much that I had to Google what was up with them. And then I found the answer. It was so tremendously simple that I felt stupid for not knowing it earlier. They are paid to act and look like that. Disney has very strict rules about the appearance of their cast members. Men must be clean-shaven at all times or have a full beard. Patchy beards or goatees are not allowed. Nails must be neatly trimmed at all times, and their hair may not be an unnatural color. This is, of course, for the non-costume cast members. Costume cast members have a whole different set of rules, including their height and weight restrictions. But that's for a different list. Disneyland expects their cast members to look like they have their life all figured out so as not to ruin the magic. Or something like that. Part of the cast. If you have ever been to Disneyland, you know that it is all one big theatrical production. Besides the insane amount of planning that goes into every day, there are also a few standard rules to make sure that everything runs smoothly. This means getting into the right mindset. Every employee is expected to get into that mindset from the get-go. It doesn't matter if you're the CEO or the street sweeper, you're part of the cast. You will be referred to as a cast member, and you will be thoroughly educated about Disney's past, present, and future. This isn't a dark secret, but more of a fun fact. The truth is, Disney puts a whole lot into their brand. It is one of the last corporations on Earth that focuses on preserving the magic of their product. They want children to come to Disneyland and have the time of their lives. This was Walt Disney's vision, and that vision has to be planned out in immaculate detail. The next time you visit a Disney park, take a good look around you. Those cast members are hard at work to ensure that you have the best time ever. So be nice to them. They've just been through a vigorous Disney training program. Poor souls. No, see, I'm green. What ruins the Disneyland experience? Well, according to Disneyland, seeing the many backstage buildings that form the entire experience. Don't believe me? Every color Disney is carefully chosen. Like all other facets of the Mouse House, the coloring is specifically picked with the intention of preserving the magic. No color is a filler, and every inch of each one of the theme parks is designed with a painstaking attention to detail. Apparently, one wrong color is the difference between a magical fairyland and the Hunger Games arena. These colors are designed to pop out and attract the attention of parkgoers. All but one. No, see, I'm green. The purpose of this mysterious color is to cause the object to fade into your color spectrum so that your eye won't notice it at all. Most backstage buildings are painted in this color, and if you were to look out for those buildings, you would be surprised at how well this color trickery works. I'd be insulted, but the one time I called them out about it, they gave me a free hot dog. So, we're cool now. Know the route. Now, before we carry on, we must remember that there is no such thing as a dumb person. All people are equal and don't deserve to be mocked. Does everybody understand? Okay, so let's get started. Cast members are expected to know every detail about the famous 3 o'clock parade, including the time. Because the most common asked question at any Disneyland is, what time is the 3 o'clock parade? Okay, remember, we must be nice to these poor newcomers who don't know when the 3 o'clock parade is. Because, to be fair, it is a bit of a brain teaser. What time is the 3 o'clock parade? Oh no, we'll never find out! In all seriousness though, this is a serious question. Or rather, cast members must keep a serious face when answering this question. To help guests at the park, cast members must have every detail of the parade memorized. This includes the route so they can help those who are late getting to the parade before they miss it. How nice of them. Former cast members say that the route is drilled into them, and even after they leave, they can't forget the iconic parade route or what time it is. This also keeps in line with the fact that cast members are never allowed to say, "I don't know." In fact, if you don't know, you have already been fired, because that's the penalty of shattering the magical illusion that is Disneyland. Sharing is caring. This one is a little gross, so keep up with me as I power through it. Also, I am now officially warning those of our precious viewers with weak stomachs. You know those beautiful costumes that cast members get to wear? Well, those costumes require special undergarments, such as tights or bike shorts. This is reasonable, right? What isn't reasonable is the fact that until 2001, cast members had to share those special undergarments. Yes, that is as gross as it sounds. Several former cast members admit to contracting lice or scabies after this. And we have to admit that this is not something we would do. Thankfully, cast members now get their own undergarments and can take them home to wash them. This is not something we should be grateful about. This is something that should be a basic right. But let's just be happy that we live in such enlightened times. Except, we don't. Can you imagine how much those costumes must weigh? Now, imagine living in that thing for a whole day in some of the hottest environments in the world. After your shift, some unlucky soul gets to take over and they're left breathing in your sweat. Lovely. Those costumes are expensive, so you don't get your own personalized costume. You get a uniform that someone else has likely worn before you. Hopefully the costume department airs them out after every day. Can you keep the secret? What is the best part about being a Disneyland employee? Getting to take all those awesome selfies with the cast. Except, you can't. Cast members aren't allowed to take any photographs of themselves in costume, post on social media about their day, or tell anyone anything about what they do. They aren't even allowed to tell their families which cast member they are. When they go to work, they are literally entering a different world. They aren't allowed to be themselves. They are now part of the Disney universe. This would be like you getting into Hogwarts. As much as you'd love to brag about being in Professor McGonagall's class, posting it on Twitter would be the quickest way to get kicked out. Your life as a cast member now revolves around the whims of the guests. You may not wreck the illusion for them. They paid a lot of money to escape reality, and every single thing you do has to make the magic real to them. So, being your basic self instead of the costume you're wearing would ruin it for the guests. Essentially, being a Disney cast member is like being a spy. You do your job and no one is supposed to know who you are. Unless you're James Bond, in which case, everyone knows who you are. The Princess Swoop. Disneyland theme parks are some of the cleanest places on Earth. If you walk into any park around the world, you know it will be clean. There will be no trash lying around, and the whole place will literally look otherworldly as a result. Which is, you know, the whole point. Have you ever wondered why? This is simply because everyone picks up trash. Yes, there are maintenance crews, but they can't be everywhere at once. So, Disneyland enforces a rule that everyone else should also follow. Everyone from the CEO to the lowest cast member is expected to pick up litter if they walk past it. This is admirable, and everyone is treated equally. Except for the costume characters. These poor girls are watched like hawks. And heaven forbid a princess actually bends down like a normal person. No, besides perpetuating unrealistic body images, the princesses also act impossibly too. The poor characters must pick up trash in a theatrical fashion. No bending. They must swoop down in one fluid motion, swiping up the offending piece of garbage, and gracefully dump it into the trash can. I'm pretending to be outraged, but it has to be one of the most entertaining aspects of the entire experience. But don't drop your trash too often unless you want to get a Have a Disney Day. Smell the happy. Disneyland has been advertised as the happiest place on Earth. When you walk through the park, you can smell the happy. Quite literally, as it turns out. Disney's Imagineers have patented air smellitizers. Each area of the park has its own unique smell. Underneath each park, there is a series of underground tunnels that house basic park equipment. These smellitizers are hidden there, and at regular intervals are sprayed into the air. As you walk down Main Street, USA, you will smell the lingering aroma of baking vanilla cookies. You'll sniff in the fresh sea air as you wait in line for the Pirates of the Caribbean, and the faint fragrance of honey on Pooh's Adventure. These smellitizers are controlled by computers, so the scents will never be overwhelming. In fact, they aren't designed to elicit a conscious response. They are just there to make your senses happy without you even realizing it. This means that the smells won't always be magical. Sometimes the smells must be realistic. This serves to create the illusion that everything around you is real. So, you might smell a little animal at the animal kingdom. It is actually incredible to see how much effort goes into giving you a magical experience. Songs on repeat. Once again, this is more of an interesting fact than a dark secret. You know how Disneyland likes to engage all 5 of the senses while you're at the park? The quickest way to prevent sensory overload from all the squalling children is to play their greatest hits. Hearing engaged? Check! I like it. It fits into the whole magical feel of the place. But then again, I don't spend every day at the park listening to Elsa belt out Let It Go. Most mothers with little girls can attest to how grating those songs are when you listen to them on repeat every day. Mothers and cast members must hate those songs. Of course, they don't hate all the songs, since the songs are localized to fit into the part of the park they're in. But it's still amazing how none of the cast members have lost it yet. Hats off to the Disney cast members. Everyone be nice before they go crazy and take over the magical kingdom. Can you guess which area is hated the most by Disney cast members? The animation studios at Disney's Hollywood Studios. The animation studios are home to Disney Junior's most famous shows, like Doc McStuffins. Disney knows their market very well, so you can imagine which types of songs they play all day long. Thankfully, most of these songs aren't that noticeable if you don't know they're playing. But now that I've mentioned them, you'll probably notice them a lot more the next time you go to Disneyland. Sorry about that. And that's our list. Tell us if you still view Disneyland as a magical kingdom or if it's a bit less magical now. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, fellow Mouse Housers. Ooh, free hot dog!